As Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu prepares to meet with the French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris, our correspondent Jody Cohen had this exclusive conversation with Israel's former ambassador to France, Ambassador Daniel Shek. Listen in.
Ambassador Shek, thank you for speaking with WION. Now, what do you think we can expect from Prime Minister Netanyahu's meeting with President Macron in Paris, and indeed from the whole trip of Netanyahu to Paris, which is lasting 3 days, we've been told?
Well, concretely, I don't think that one can expect much. I don't think that there's any outcome that somebody expects. It's sort of a maintenance visit between leaders of two very friendly countries. So the usual issues, regional issues, will be on the agenda. Plus, maybe President Macron will do what Secretary of State Antony Blinken did last week, and that is to remind Mr. Netanyahu that the good relations between the two countries are not just based on mutual interests, but also on shared values of democracy. Because, as you know, Netanyahu is facing quite a lot of opposition within Israel to certain reforms that he plans that some Israelis feel will undermine Israeli democracy.
According to the Israel Prime Minister's office, the meeting's going to focus on Iran. We've just seen the largest ever joint drills between the US and Israeli forces. Do you think that these are preparations somehow for a potential strike on Iran, or are we looking potentially at a return to talks on the Iran nuclear deal?
There's also the option of doing nothing or doing little, as has been the case over the last year, and potentially maybe increasing pressure on Iran through economic pressure, through sanctions, etc. I don't think that there is concrete preparation for a military strike, and I'm afraid that resuming talks with Iran has now become a very, very long shot. Not so much because of things concerning Israel and the region, but because, first of all, because of the protests within Iran and the repression that the Iranians have reacted by over the last few months, and most importantly, Iran's aid to Russia in the war in Ukraine. Those things have made it impossible for the Western nations to resume talks with Iran.
Now, the last time we saw an Israeli Prime Minister in Paris was when Yair Lapid visited and met with President Macron, which was just before the announcement about the Israel-Lebanon gas deal. We know that the meetings now are going to be concentrating also on regional cooperation. What do you think we can expect on that front?
Last Yair Lapid visit did have this specific issue on the table of the agreement with Lebanon, which, by the way, Netanyahu promised to cancel the moment he is back in power, which of course he won't do because it's an excellent agreement and he knows that too. But things that you see from the opposition, you see probably differently when you're in charge. So Netanyahu has one big dream, and that is to enlarge or expand the Abraham Accords specifically to Saudi Arabia. I must say that I think that under current circumstances, with what's happening in the territories and the lack of clarity about the policies of this new government concerning the Palestinians, I don't think that is possible in the immediate future.
Speaking about the Palestinians, President Macron has reportedly said that he will make himself available to promote dialogue between the Israelis and Palestinians. Do you think Prime Minister Netanyahu will take him up on that offer?
The Palestinians is not even an issue for discussion. He will want to concentrate on Iran and maybe the Abraham Accords and bilateral relations, but certainly he won't be there to offer or to volunteer talks with the Palestinians. And the only thing I can tell, I would have told Macron about his offer to renew dialogue is good luck with that, Mr. President. I don't think there is any chance, not even the remotest, for reasons that concern both the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. But there's no chance that such talks can resume in the foreseeable future. But Macron will put it on the table because that's what European leaders and Americans do. They want to keep the Palestinian issue on the table, despite what this current government in Israel wishes, and that is to completely forget about them.
Ambassador Shek, thank you for your time and your insights there. It remains to be seen what comes out of Prime Minister Netanyahu's meetings with President Macron in Paris. This is Jodie Cohen for WION World is One.